y'all? I'm Erica Lanai and I am back with another Storytime video. This video is a part 2 to the part 1 video of the apartment hunting gone wrong. So if you have not seen part 1, you will want to stop and go see so you can kind of get a background of where we are in this situation with these apartments, okay? And because this is when I'm really about to jump into what really took place and what really got us to this point. So if you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and stop now and go ahead on and view that and come back, girl. Grab you something to drink if you haven't, like the rest of my girlies and peoples are doing, and come back because I'm gonna go ahead on and hop into part 2. Okay, all right, y'all. So to begin with part 2, it is now April 18th. It's just a few days before I'm supposed to move in, which is the 22nd. I was looking for an update from her since the 11th, so I'm now reaching out again on the 18th. And this is, like I said, just a few days before I'm due to move into the apartment. I reach out and I say, good morning, hope all is well. Are there any updates? Making sure everything is set, is still set for Friday. Didn't see the last email you sent until now about not knowing when things would be complete. It's super close to time now, so I just want to be sure that anything that needs to be done on that apartment will be finished before Friday. Also, please send pics of the apartment today if possible. Thanks. She doesn't respond to me, y'all, until the next day. So this is getting really, really close. Like, you know, this is cutting it very, very freaking close.
I don't like that.
I like to know what I'm going into up front. This is, I'm beyond how many red flags there already is in this scenario here that I have looked past. So this is already giving, girl, you should have cut this off a long time ago. Period. But I'm still here because I want so bad to get out of the apartment that I'm in. So she responds to me the next morning and she's like,
good morning, Erica. I was off yesterday, so my apologies. The unit is being turned at the time and is scheduled to be ready by your move-in date. The flooring company is out today working on the flooring in your unit, and once that is completed and paint begins, I will send you photos.
I said, okay, thank you for the update. Oh, was the door framing already completed as well? Because she did tell me in the last video that the door framing had to be repaired. And she doesn't respond to me. It's now the 20th. Hey, Angel. Not sure if you saw my last email from yesterday. She responds to me finally, right? And she's like,
hi, Erica. We are still working on the unit and I'm not in the office today. I will be back on site to make sure this work is completed inside the unit and have videos and photos available once work is completed. If you are still planning on moving in, you and your roommates will need to upload 3 to 5 pay stubs each, have your NES confirmation sent over, and provide renter's insurance for your records. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. So none of this was known ahead of time. I was like, hey, Angel, thanks for the update. I will have them prepare their pay stubs. Also, I understand that renter's insurance was provided by you guys. I seen this in the application when I was, you know, doing the application.
And she says the renter insurance we have is building insurance. It covers the $100,000 liability requirement that they have. It would not protect my belongings.
So I would need to get additional renter's insurance. Boom. Cool. I'm like, also, I think I told you that I was starting a new job. I've started and I will be receiving my first payment soon. Should I just provide you the offer letter? And she's like,
yes, we will need to see your offer letter to confirm employment verification. We're good.
And then she's like,
all right, Miss Erica.
I have made your lease ready for signatures. Once you and your roommates upload all the required documents, the system will allow you and the others to sign the lease agreement. You will need to bring in money orders or a cashier's check for your first payment. The total due is
$3,332.
$3,332.
Please let me know if you have any questions.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
girl, you know I got plenty questions. I got plenty questions because if y'all haven't seen the last video, which you should have already seen part 1, we have went through money things already, right? And we have paid the application fees. They have snatched, okay, baby, snatched $650, almost $650 out of my account already. So now we're out somewhere between $700 to $800, including the application fees that was paid to this apartment complex. And we haven't even moved in yet. Haven't seen the apartment yet. You're steady telling me about make ready signatures. I'm not about to sign anything until I see the apartment. I have told y'all this. And now it's to the point that the apartment that we are staying in at the moment, If y'all have ever stayed in apartments, I'm not sure if this is everywhere, but in Tennessee, from what I can tell, they do require at least a 60-day notice to let them know when you will be evacuating the apartment, right? As I said, my last day in this apartment complex, my end of lease is the end of April. We are now April 21st. Okay, so I'm like a week away before I need to move out of the apartments that I'm in at the moment. I applied to this apartment beginning of March. Should have been seen, everything should have been able to approve, haven't been able to. I have let these apartments know that we're gonna be moving out. I let them know somewhere between like 50 and 40 days, and they were cool with it. From what I can understand, at least. I had let them know, and we were on the same page that we were leaving, right? So you telling me that I'm supposed to be moving in the next day. I have not seen the apartment that I have been checking on weekly for now at least a month. I have not seen the apartment. It has been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And now you're telling me the day before I'm supposed to move in, after we agreed that the only additional payment at move-in should have been just a $300 payment, because one of my roommates didn't have a credit history, right? So they had to pay an additional $300. We were cool with that. So when she asked me, let her know if I have any questions, like how we go from $300 to $3,000. Like, I'm not crazy, I'm not slow, and I know that y'all said 300 and you did not say 3,000. It's giving robbery. You know I have questions. You know I got plenty. I assume she made a mistake and put an extra 3 there. Like, you know, I'm thinking, okay, she probably made a mistake. Let me just make sure she made a mistake, right? So y'all, I respond, I'm like, did you make an error on the amount due? Also, will you send pics today? She said,
yes, once they finish cleaning, I will send photos. I made no error. Your desired move-in date is for the 22nd. When you applied, it was the 25th. We changed it to the 22nd as you requested, which makes the price change. Your prorated rental amount, extra security deposit, and next month rent are all included in the price of $3,332. Your screening came back with a maximum security deposit of an additional $1,000 on top of the $500 you've already paid.
Y'all, if you don't know, I even spoke to manager Mike, okay? Manager Mike, her manager, who confirmed that there was a $300 amount that was gonna be needed, right? In the approval letter, it only said that it was sometime, I'm gonna post it here, the contingent something off approval. It didn't really say what the amount would be, but I had heard from her 300, heard from manager Mike 300. That's what I'm expecting is 300. Now she's telling me rent is included as well. I assumed that would be due May, but rent was like $1,700, y'all. So $1,700, close to $1,800, and $300 is giving $2,000. It's giving $2,000, so it's still not giving $3,330 something dollars. But you're telling me my roommate that does not have any credit history has to pay the maximum of $1,000 deposit when it's 3 of us and 2 of us have good credit? For one, that doesn't even sound right, because this isn't my first apartment complex, for one. And then my first one, I didn't have a credit history and I didn't even pay that much. And if that was the situation, why is it that I'm just now hearing about this the day before we're supposed to move in, right? When manager Mike told me very clearly, and I'm gonna make sure y'all hear it again right here.
If anything changes, I'll have her reach out to you.
Right. So now I called them. At this point, I'm so highly upset because it's the day before we're supposed to move out, y'all, meaning we have packed everything up. The next day we were going to be getting a U-Haul and we're going to be moving. The apartment complex knows that we're going to be out soon. Everybody is on the same page that we're about to be moving in. Everybody's packed, everybody's ready to go. So I'm calling now to say, when was this changed? The last thing I heard from anyone there, the amount was $300. Why is it now $1,000? And even if it is $1,000, I'm not paying $1,000 because I've been told, and I've been told with recorded evidence, that it was going to be $300, and there has not been any update, any changes, anything brought to my attention while I have consistently reached out for updates from y'all. So there's no reason this shouldn't have been brought to my attention. Y'all, so we're on the phone, we're going back and forth or whatever. I ended up telling them we're not even going to do it because this has been a whole hassle in itself. 100 red flags. I ignored all of them. We're not going to be able to move forward because who has $3,000 to just foot out when you thinking that it's just $300? Like, you know, who has over $3,000 to just put in before I can even get keys to the apartment, y'all? So we decided not to move forward. At this point, I'm pissed because now we're scrambling. What are we gonna do? We could have been left out in the cold. Thank God all of my family is here. And then another God sent thing happened was because our apartment complex that we're in, they're unorganized, which isn't good. But at the moment it worked because while we had let them know we were gonna be moving out, they hadn't put it in their system. So when we told them and called them and let them know we needed to come and re-sign the lease to go ahead on and stay here, they were like, oh, we didn't even know y'all were gonna be moving out. We thought y'all had already re-signed the lease to stay here, but yes, you can go ahead and come back to sign. So that ended up working out for y'all, working out for us. But that's a mess in itself. That lets you know why I want to get out. But it worked then. But still, had that not worked, we were in a horrible spot because we were gonna have to get out. We had no place to go now. And that's just bad business because why are y'all not being upfront and consistent with y'all prices, you know? So I'm very upset, right? I'm done talking to them. I'm really upset and I'm really like, at this point, live it. But before I get off the phone with them, y'all, I make sure that they know I do want my $600 and almost $650 refunded since we are not gonna be moving forward. So now, y'all, I'm pissed. And then I also realized that I have not received any confirmation that I told y'all I asked for my refund of the $640 odd, whatever it was. I didn't receive any confirmation that they were refunding it yet. So I'm like, okay, let me reach out to manager Mike, right? So I do just that. It's now April 23rd. It's the day after we were due to move in. I'm upset now. So while I'm gonna keep it a little classy and cute, I'm gonna take it there and I'm gonna let you know how I feel. And this is what I did. So I'm like, good morning, Mike. I wanted to reach out to you because I requested to speak to you Thursday, but apparently you weren't available. I'm sure you're aware that my lease has been canceled. Prior to Thursday, the only payment I was told would be due at move-in was a $300 fee for my roommate who does not have a credit history. I was told several times by each of you that the fee due at move-in was going to be $300. I was recently checking my files and communications because originally, y'all, the recording that y'all are hearing of manager Mike, I had forgotten all about it. But something reminded me like, wait, didn't you record that conversation? Go back and listen to it and make sure they said he agreed to that $300.
And another thing, since I have you on the phone now, I know that apparently due to one of the applicants that are roommating with me, they don't have a credit history. So there's a $300 additional deposit that can be made when
you move in.
Once I seen that he agreed, that's really what pushed me to like, okay, for one, let me reach out to him to make sure my money is coming back. And for two, let me reach out to him and let him know.
I don't like that.
I have clear information, clear evidence of y'all saying that it was gonna be $300. So what's really good, you know? So I was recently checking my files and communications I've kept record of and found a recorded conversation that we had on the phone beginning of March about the earnest money. And in that conversation, you also confirmed that $300 would be due at move-in. I was told that the rent amount wouldn't be due until May 1 as well by Angel. I had recorded that conversation because the situation with the earnest money had left me uncomfortable with taking you guys' word. I am not sure when things changed, but you stated in the conversation that everything was set and you would have Angel contact me upon any changes. I was never alerted about any changes, especially the price change, until April 21st, a day before move-in, even though I had been constantly following up weekly for updates on the apartment. Never was I notified of this change. When I called, the consultant explained that the $1,000 amount was in the contract we signed when applying. I've checked and that amount is nowhere in the application. I'm so disappointed in the inconsistency and changes made throughout this process, and to change the price the day before we were due to move in was a breach of contract and negligent on you guys' part. But we are being penalized because we are in a position that would otherwise not be in if you guys were upfront about fees. Your negligence has directly affected our lives because we have completely made plans to move in, regardless of the fact I never got the chance to tour the apartment and the constant changes of dates for touring and cleaning, etc. Then a day before we are due to move in, I'm upset because we are due to move out as planned but have nowhere to go because this. Y'all, I'm lying, but still he needs to feel my rage, okay? So I said I have requested a receipt or confirmation of my refund for earnest money and haven't gotten a response. I will come in to deliver a notarized letter regarding the refund and other legal measures I've decided to take because of these consistent breaches in verbal contracts, negligence, and just lack of communication in general from you guys. Y'all, Mike tries me, okay? He tries me. Listen to what Mike says, y'all. He says, "Good evening, Erica. Your check is being mailed and will be delivered within 30 days. If it doesn't get there within 30 days, let me know. With that being said, first off," who you talking to? First off. He says first off, y'all. First off, if you are thinking about taking legal measures, understand we did not have to give you your deposit back since you signed and agreed saying that you will not receive a deposit back. Out of the kindness of my heart, I feel as though since you didn't see the unit, I gave your full deposit back. Secondly, you failed to go online and read the letter that stated that you had a higher deposit to begin with. Thirdly, you failed to look online in your portal where it states your deposit is non-refundable, and you failed to look at all the information you were supposed to read before you moved in. I do not appreciate your threat to move forward with legal action as we have done our due diligence. You have a higher deposit based on our screening, and this information was communicated to you a month ago. Not only that, but it's online in your portal where you log in. Understand, if you seek legal action, we have these documents on hand. Thanks. Y'all, who Mike think he playing with? That's all I want to know. Like, who does Mike think he's playing with? Not Erica. No way, not Erica, because when I tell you I'm on top, literally, I'm on top of everything. And there was nothing posted online until when I told y'all, Angel said, and plus when she made those changes, I got an alert through email that there had been changes made. I would have gotten an alert earlier if there were changes made. Stop playing with me, okay? So now since you want to say first off, I have time.
I just looked at my wrist, I got time today. Fuck it, I'm crossing the line today.
Y'all, I said, good to know. And if we are talking about first off, it was never stated to me that there was anything added online until the day before my move-in, period, which was April 21st. Throughout this entire process, I have constantly reached out for updates, and not once was it stated that the price had changed. Meanwhile, you said clear as day that it would be $300 due at move-in. You also stated that if anything changed, you would have Angel reach out. If we are talking about due diligence, it should have been presented way before April 21st, since it is in fact something that had changed. A threat? Don't mistake what I sent as a threat, sir. It was a guarantee. Period. This is the first I have gotten a response from you since the day you sent the confirmation email stating that I will receive that earnest money. It was definitely something you decided to do, not out of kindness, because kindness would have led you to respond to me when I emailed you the previous times. It was because I told you clearly that I was not told that information. I did read in the earnest money agreement where it stated that it would be pulled from the card on file at approval after the fact, but I didn't expect it because I took the word of your leasing agent. I quickly learned my lesson though, and that is why I decided to record our conversation and receive anything money related in writing from that point. Also, I decided to let you guys hold it because I was still interested in the apartment. This is neither here or there because you already agreed to refund me. Period. Due diligence would have been getting things completed as stated the first time, not constantly pushing things back, which I also have record of. But like I said, I extended grace because I wanted to move and had presented a notice to my previous apartments already. I do appreciate you letting me know that you have this documentation, as I do. Again, this $1,000 was not disclosed to me until the 21st when Angel emailed me telling me that the quote was ready and signatures were needed. Please don't insult my intelligence. I am far from a fool. Period. I also have plenty of documents, including the emails and the conversation recording when you agreed that the move-in amount is $300. Nevertheless, $1,000 came out of nowhere. I'm done speaking to you about this because I can see that I would have to show you. Have a good night. Yeah, y'all, I had to take it there because don't play with me. Don't threaten me with you have documentation. I'm sure y'all will have documentation, but I'm sure your documentation is going to reflect the lies that you're going to tell, which is why I have my own evidence. Everything is in writing that I've dealt with y'all, which is what y'all didn't even see coming to begin with. But don't play with me and say you have documentation, because I got time and I got evidence too. And you guys should have known with my rental history and credit history that I have my things together. There is no way I would have let this slip past me if I knew. But again, we'll speak soon. He goes on to say, we will not speak again. You will be dealing with our attorneys going forward. Give me her information, whatever. And I say, fine with me. Like, what? Like, let me go ahead and give y'all a few more gems right now. Because in these situations, when you're dealing with money, contracts, things like that, you have to know the law, for one, and you have to keep everything, keep evidence, keep receipts, do emails so that you can have written evidence, everything in writing, because these people like to take advantage of people all the time, and ignorance is bliss. If you don't know the law, you don't know you're getting played, and if you don't know you're getting played, you're getting played. That is a few gems for y'all to have right there. Make sure you have all of your things covered so that if anything comes down to it, you have your things together to prove your side, okay? After that, I ended up not moving forward with legal action. I'm not even gonna hold y'all, because I lied about the fact that I was gonna be out and didn't have a place to go. If I was to have to leave and not have a place to go, and they didn't send me back my money for my refund of my $600 and something, for 100%, I would have moved forward with legal action. But I decided not to move forward because of the fact that I would have had to have clear evidence that I had nowhere to go, that I had to pay for storage, any other debts that I had come up due to the situation. I was already getting back the full refund anyway, so it wasn't really anything to fight in that case. But just know your rights, okay? But y'all, I was so pissed I was not done there. I was thinking, let me leave my review for the people who are interested, like I was, to move there, to know what they own, like, you know, to know what it's giving, to know how they're playing in people's face, you know? So let me go ahead on and share what I wrote on my Google review. All right, y'all, so this is what I wrote. I wrote,
beware, if you're apartment hunting, do yourselves a favor and don't look here. I had the worst experience ever with these apartments. The level of unprofessionalism and lack of organization with the management team was indescribable. During my process, there were constant changes. Nothing was consistent. I requested to tour my specific apartment prior to moving in because of several reviews I read with tenants stating that they did not receive what was described or promised when applying. I was very persistent with following up weekly for any updates. There were endless excuses for why they kept pushing back dates for things to be completed. Endless. Even up until the day before I was due to move in, my apartment was still not ready. Get this. The day before I was due to move in, the leasing consultant emailed me about move-in fees, which were over $1,000 more than what was previously disclosed. I had a recorded conversation between me and the property manager around the time I was approved, where he confirmed move-in fees to be one price, which is what I expected. After all the following up, I was never notified of any additional changes or fees, not once, until the day before my scheduled move-in. I'm honestly convinced that they are committing fraud and or scamming their incoming tenants. Due to this drastic change in price, I canceled my lease. I felt that it was the final red flag I needed. I was so upset because of the last minute change, but with all the red flags, I realized that canceling the lease was the best decision I made. Moral of the story, don't waste your time.
yeah, y'all, and I done got plenty. I want to say I done got over 50 likes on that. So obviously, people are still having these same issues with this apartment complex. But y'all, that's the end of that story time. Y'all, they tried to rob your good sis. Like, tried to rob me blind, because at that point, if I would have paid that, I would have been out a good almost over $4,000 for an apartment complex before even moving in. Like, where do they do that? That's crazy. But y'all, moral of the story, like I said, make sure you are dotting those I's and crossing those T's, sis, because they are going to try it every time, okay? So make sure you have your stuff together, so if it comes down to it, you are able to get what you need and get back ahead. Because as y'all can see, the best thing I done was got in writing that I was going to get that money back from the get-go. So yes, but that is that story time. If y'all have had any story time like this, I'm sorry for you. But share it below, please, so we can all bring awareness of how these apartments can be really trying to play with people. This is the end of this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on social media. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.